It's time for your statewide Alabama weathercast.
Good afternoon, I'm meteorologist Drew McCombs with the Alabama Weather Network, and this is your afternoon forecast update for the state of Alabama. And we take a look at one of our Skywatcher pictures from Daniel Harbin. He was in Scottsboro here, and some beautiful skies out there as some high clouds have started to stream in. A little bit of maybe alto cumulus happening there with this here, or cirrocumulus potentially, but making some cool patterns in the sky, and the sunshine as it goes through, it looks pretty neat there. So there's been a lot of that showing up today. You can see that looking at our satellite and radar, that a good bit of cloud cover has overspread, especially the northern 2/3, 3/4 of the state. There's still been a good bit of sunshine as you move further towards the south, and you see there are some radar returns trying to show up in West Alabama at this point, which we kind of anticipated. However, we're still very dry in the atmosphere for most of the state, and so I think a lot of that right now is still falling as virga, so it's not actually reaching the ground. It's evaporating before it reaches the ground in many spots so far. So we'll take a look at our dew points real quick. Tells a story there. So towards the southwest, down in parts of Gulf Shores and Mobile, you're starting to get dew points into the 40s and 50s, but as you move to the north, it pretty quickly drops off. You've still got teens across a good portion of the state, even as far south as places like Greenville and Thomasville, 20s elsewhere, and so it's still a very dry air mass, and we're still getting our flow kind of out of the southeast right now, so it's not moistening up a lot quite yet, but it will be over the course of over the rest of the evening and into tomorrow as this system comes in. But again, that's part of the reason why we expect that it's going to take a little while before any rain starts reaching the ground, even if you see some returns on the radar. So that's kind of the story there. But we'll take a look at our sky cams and see what we can see out there. It's 50 degrees in Florence in the northwestern part of the state. Again, you've got fairly overcast skies, but you can see there are some peaks of blue here and there. Again, dew points in the teens, and we do have a little bit of a breeze there, around 17 miles an hour, occasionally gusting up to about 22 miles per hour. As we look at Hatton nearby, you can see again fairly overcast skies, and but looking pretty nice there as we look towards the west and look towards our sunset here coming up in the next couple hours. It's 51 degrees there in Hatton and Albertville. If we move over to the eastern side of North Alabama, and you can see again just some breaks in the clouds, but generally fairly overcast there. And you can see it's 49 degrees there. Again, dew points in the teens in that part of the state as well. Moving towards the south of Birmingham and the Hoover area, it's here atop the Galleria Tower, it's 51 degrees, so we've warmed up decently there, and again, still fairly dry, and we're getting a little bit of a breeze out of the southeast there as well. Now, as we move down to Dozier, we've actually cleared out a good bit here recently, had a little bit more cloud cover around. Last time I looked at this, it's actually reached 60 degrees now with a little bit more sunshine in place, but it's still the dew points in the upper 20s. So with moisture starting to creep in there, but it's still very, very dry atmosphere overall. Now, looking at Jefferson, this is pretty cool looking here. We're a little bit further towards the west, not too far from Demopolis, and this is an area where you're starting to see some rain returns show up on the radar. Now, when I looked at this earlier, might have seen a few drops falling in front of the camera. Kind of hard to tell now, but I do think if you look closer to the clouds, you see some kind of diffuse kind of gray areas and stuff. I think that is some virga falling, so that's rain falling and evaporating mostly before it reaches the ground. And again, that's what we're seeing there, but that's going to help moisten up the atmosphere in those areas where that is falling. You'll see the relative humidity increase as that happens. Now, Fairhope, as we move further to the south, pretty much full sunshine there. You've got nice, fairly nice temperatures too for this time of year, 64 degrees there. And again, the dew point's now around 50 degrees, so moisture is creeping back into the kind of coastal areas. And Dauphin Island looking really nice there as well. Similar story at 61 there, and dew points at 52 with a little bit of a breeze gusting to 23 miles an hour. So here's what we're watching for the rest of the weekend and next week. Clouds are continuing to increase today and tonight. Showers will be coming in more late into the evening in the nighttime period. Again, but by that point, we would expect the atmosphere will start to moisten up enough that you'll start to see some showers fall, especially in North Alabama, but could see some in other parts of western or southwestern Alabama, but mostly North Alabama for tonight. And then rain continues to return as we move into Sunday. So early Sunday morning and into Sunday afternoon, we will see rain moving in kind of from northwest to southeast. But it will not, again, it'll be mostly showers, maybe a few heavier showers here and there, but this is not going to be a significant rain event. Really, the more significant rain event is is looking like Monday night into Tuesday morning across a good portion of the entire state. And actually the southern part of the state looking like it will get most of the rain, which we could certainly use that down in the southern part of the state. Here's your temperatures right now. Again, we got into the 50s across the northern part of the state, 50 in Huntsville, although Hamilton's still hanging around in the upper 40s. It's 52 in Anniston. As you move to the south, it's 58 in Montgomery. We've hit 60 degrees in places like Troy and Eufaula and Greenville and Monroeville. And it looks like our warmest spot that I can see right now might be Mobile at 64 degrees. Here's your Iron Bowl forecast. Did a couple of tweaks to it, but nothing really much has changed. Expecting generally upper, maybe mid 40s over the course of the game, with mostly cloudy skies, maybe partly cloudy at times, but generally mostly cloudy skies. Again, we don't expect showers because we expect it will still be too dry for any showers to fall there in the eastern part of the state by the time that the game is over. So we don't really expect any showers. We expect mainly just mostly cloudy skies and fairly chilly weather there with a little bit of a breeze, but nothing too much there for the Iron Bowl. Here's your forecast lows for tonight. We'll expect it not to be as cold as this morning, but still fairly cold in the northern part of the state, 34 degrees in Gadsden. But as you move to the south, we get more into the 40s and even into the 50s, 44 in Clanton, 46 in Demopolis, and maybe only around 54 degrees in Gulf Shores for the lows tonight. Tomorrow, it'll be kind of a tale of two halves of the state. As the front pushes through, places in North Alabama will struggle to get out of the 40s behind the front. So only maybe 48 degrees in Florence, 44 in Hamilton, 48 in Birmingham. But as you move to the south, places that get warmer before the front passes in, later on in the afternoon and evening could reach upper 60 to low 70s. So places like Andalusia and Geneva could get into the low 70s versus only upper 40s in the northern part of the state. Here's a look at the overall picture here. Again, we've got this low pressure moving to our northwest. That's going to be bringing that cold front that will bring our showers in here late tonight into tomorrow. And you see a warm front lifting up into parts of Chicago or parts of Illinois and parts of Indiana and Ohio. Again, there's lots of winter weather occurring with that in that part of the country. We don't expect any issues with that here, but with the rain that we get over the next several days will be cold rain though for sure, but high pressure pushing out for the east as we start to get into a more active pattern. Our Futurecast now again showing a few radar returns right now, but like we've talked about, we expect that's mostly just Virga at this point. And as we move on through the evening here, so this is just a little bit before the kickoff of the Iron Bowl in Auburn, you can see no showers really showing up there. Temperatures in the upper 40s, mostly cloudy skies. And then again, over the course of the nighttime and into the tomorrow morning period, that's when we expect rain will start to fall in North Alabama and then push through to the southeast over the course of the day. But as you see it moves to the southeast, it starts to kind of lose a little bit of its the lift to it and starts to kind of wash out. So we expect less rain as it moves further towards the south. So really not expecting any significant rainfall. And in fact, many places in southeast Alabama may see next to nothing with this system as we get later on into Sunday. See some clearing in North Alabama Sunday afternoon and evening. Stays mostly cloudy in the south. And then we start to see this front lift back towards the north as we get into Monday. It starts off Monday fairly sunny Monday morning in North Alabama, but cloudy in South Alabama, maybe a few showers around. But then we really start to see the rain move in as we get into Monday afternoon and evening. So this would be the point where we start to see some fairly heavy showers and maybe even a couple of rumbles of thunder, especially as you get closer to the coast. And by the time we move into early Tuesday morning, I mean, we're going to start the rain Monday evening through the nighttime period, and then we're getting some fairly heavy rain falling in the overnight period Tuesday morning. So this is where we really could see some good rain totals across south central and southern Alabama, which could certainly help our drought in those areas. And then as we get into a little bit later Tuesday morning, we've got rain and maybe a few thunderstorms exiting the state there at that point, lingering showers there behind it. And again, this is going to be for a lot of that event as we get into Monday, Tuesday, a fairly cold rain happening there, but we're still not really expecting any sort of winter weather. If anything, you might see some sleet mixed in the very far northern parts of the state a few times, but nothing that would impact anything. And again, it should just be a cold rain generally. And after that, things get fairly chilly as we move into Wednesday morning with temperatures maybe back down to the 20s again. Here's your rainfall outlook. So again, we expect some pretty good rainfall with this. And thankfully, the southern part of the state, which is needed it the most, is going to get a lot of it here. So we expect to get 2 to 3 inches fairly widespread across southern Alabama. North of the 2059 corridor might be more like 1 to 2 inches. But again, it looks like basically the entire state we expect to get at least an inch of rain, which has been a while since we've seen something like that. Here's a look at your airport delays. Again, this is a big travel weekend with Thanksgiving weekend here, and most of the country looking good in the green there. But then you do see that we have O'Hare showing a ground stop, and I think Midway as well. So in those areas there where you see all the blue, that's your snow that's falling, a big snowstorm happening right now in the Great Lakes and Midwest. Then you do have a few areas or a few airports that are seeing some issues there, but outside of that, things are looking pretty good. Travel impacts as we turn the page to tomorrow, that shifts a little bit further to the east. Those red areas, higher impacts in, again, Great Lakes and up into the Northeast. And then maybe a few more impacts as far as mainly driving as you look down towards the Gulf Coast, where there'll be a little bit heavier rain falling with that system coming through our area. But, few wet roads in Alabama would be the only thing for tomorrow on our state. So as we look at our 7-day forecast for the northern half of the state, again, a few showers late tonight possible, but we really expect main rain chances to be into the morning time period, and then moving further to the south over the course of the day on Sunday. And then as we move into Monday, so there'll be kind of a little bit of a break on Monday. Kind of hard to represent this on the 7-day, but we expect the best rain chances will be Monday night into Tuesday morning. And so that's going to be kind of the time period where you get the most rain. And the northern, really the entire state, but there'll be a little bit of difference between north and south there. As we move past that, Wednesday and Thursday looking drier, but we still could have a little bit of uncertainty on Thursday, but things looking wetter as we move towards Friday. Southern half of Alabama, the rest of the day today looks really nice. And then as we move into tomorrow, we'll again expect some showers moving through over the course of the day, especially into the afternoon and later than that. And then again, a little bit of a break Monday morning before rain and maybe a few storms pushing through Monday night into Tuesday. And then things looking pretty good Wednesday and Thursday with temperatures in the low 60s. That is your Alabama forecast update. We appreciate you watching us here on the Alabama Weather Network.